What's up? We got alt metal today. Go!
Welcome to Tune Fever, baby.
All right. See, look at this. We're back at it. Video number 11 in the metal series. We've done 10. We've done the Watch Mojo top 10, but now we're on to number 11. Uh, and here you got some alt girls to describe what alt metal is all about. Uh, you know that if an alt girl was gonna like a kind of metal, I'm not sure. You know what? She probably wouldn't like metal. She would just wear the shirt. Yeah, alt girls don't listen to metal. See, they probably listen to like housey. Okay, we're gonna talk about the distinctives of alt metal. So here we go. Number one is they sing a lot. And for a lot of metal, it's about the scream, but in this style, it's about the singing a lot. No, don't get me wrong. They also do have a tendency to scream. And I would say lyrics emotionally very bitter, spiteful, and scarred. That's definitely kind of a trademark within a lot of the bands that are here. It's a lot of spite, kind of seething, salival anger. Not always, but it's common. Another thing is it's usually not really about speed. It can be brutal, but definitely speed isn't really a focus. It's occasionally fast, but not very often. So another thing is there's like an experimental slash weird edge. There's always going to be this kind of thing that's a little bit uncomfortable about it. And they're also not afraid to get a little soft. There's a lot of kind of dynamic ebb and flow would be a good way to describe what's kind of going on. And this last point, not hip hop ish. This is here because I want to make a distinctive between this and nu metal, which are not the same thing. So alt metal really doesn't have much to do with hip hop as much as nu metal does, and that's a future video that's soon going to be made is nu metal. But right now we're talking about alt metal. Okay, so right here we have where we're gonna put our recommendations for you to hear. It's the classics, it's my favorites, and it's some that I find to be interesting, all of which I think fit within alternative metal. And let's start off with the first one. It's Tool's album called Undertow from 1993. For Tool, they're the quintessential kind of alt metal band. So it was like, well, which one of their albums do I say? I picked this one. The thing about Tool, they like to make thoughtful decisions in music making. They're kind of always making statements and crafting moments, and metal music is kind of the proxy by which they conduct their proceedings, if you will. Hold on. Let me go. Hold on. I need to go put on my monocle if I'm going to talk like this. Well, anyway, it's a band where each individual in the band is absolutely essential to the whole. And I just think it comes together nicely. Now there are more progressive elements, I would say, in Tool's music, which that would lead some to place Tool in more of like a progressive metal category, more so than alt metal, but I completely disagree because I think the intention and mindset that goes into like prog metal is completely different than Tool's approach. So they belong here. And maybe that's especially true on Undertow, which is their first studio album. Also, I love it, and I don't want to spoil too much about it for those who haven't heard it. So we're going to go to classic number 2, Deftones Around the Fur. It's from 1997. It's an album that never disappoints. I mean, just look at that cover. I mean, that is hot. You see? I like the vocals, the singing with the strange melodies, the screaming, and sometimes even like the double track scream. And then I like when Chino like whispers in my ear. Like that is hot. So there's a lot of really hot sexuality going on here. Not really. Uh, Deftones does a lot of creative things in their approach, I would say. In some ways, I would say Deftones sort of has like a profound sensitivity or like a weakness or vulnerability. And like sometimes it's kind of awkward and strange. And you kind of feel bad. You feel bad for the guy. But the riffs are so ridiculously good. I guess it's sort of like listening to somebody brag about how much they suck at everything. Yeah, Deftones, terrific. This one's a terrific album. Uh, Helmet, this is my personal favorite Helmet album called Betty. You probably like Meantime better. Well, that's fine. But this is the one that I like a lot. I also like Meantime. It's over there on the shelf. Anyway, uh, this one, which is called Betty, uh, it basically feels like for me, for the band, to be like a very intentional step forward into like new ground of like art and experimentation. It's like noise and beauty and kind of getting comfortable with taking themselves seriously as like artists in these new ways that they're branching out into. It's quite a bit different than something like Meantime, which is like meant to kick you in the teeth. This one's more like to like kill your best friend in front of you, to kind of instead of like hurt you, it's like indirectly assault your limbic system. It's a nice one. Next up, you got Material Control. This is an album by Glassjaw. It's sort of a comeback album. It's their first in 15 years. A lot of their kind of earlier albums were classified into more like a post-hardcore genre. I don't think this one goes there. I just don't think so. I think it goes right here in alt metal. I think this is a bit more metal than those were, I would personally say. And don't get me wrong, I love their older stuff. I love it. And I also love this one. It came out really recently, but yeah, it was their first album in 15 years. Kind of a big deal, I guess. Probably they like got kind of old and bitter, which kind of describes the stylistic change here. It's, when I listen to this, it's like every song is like a new idea. Like they kind of individually cared for each song, like a whole bunch of like newborn babies, but they probably all had to go to the NICU because they were really sick and required much nurturing and attention, and or something. So the next one on my list is in the interesting category, and it is Short Bus, an album by Filter. Filter. Here's an interesting pick that I think a lot of people would place in more of like an industrial category, but honestly, that doesn't even make sense to me at all. And that's kind of why I'm putting it in the interesting, because I think it belongs here. I think the reason people would put it in the industrial thing is because it has like lineage to Nine Inch Nails, and also it uses a drum machine. But I think that's it. And I don't think that's a well-founded enough reason to call it industrial metal. I think it is absolutely alt metal in every way. It really has the sound of these other alternative metal albums so much more than any kind of like industrial metal, which that'll be a video that I'll make as well. I have some plans for that. Anyway, like it seriously is just like alt metal in every way except the drum programming, and I guess that makes it super interesting to me, so that's why I put it here. Also, it's a great album. Let's talk about the album. It's an album that, like, it doesn't have any boundaries. It kind of covers a whole range of like sounds and song topics, but the album is so well crafted that it feels like one kind of single coherent thought. I think it's a really well conceived of album. Check it out. So next up we got 68, In Humor and Sadness. Quite a newer album, 2016 or 17, I think. This band I've seen live a couple times, and they have the best live shows, like the most fun. They're like my favorite live shows to go see. They have this kind of approach of making very, very human, like rock and roll music, but it comes with this like incredible subtext of the fact that the singer guitar player guy, Josh Scoggin, is like this, like he was in Norma Jean at the inception. He was like in Chariot the whole time, founding member, kind of like a metal dude hero. And so it's like that. Like that's definitely like the subtext of this. But you know, they're a duo. 68 is a duo. It features that guy, and it also features a drummer. They've had two different drummers in their existence, and you know, there kind of is really no room for a third player in this setting. I think they really play into the duo thing really hard, and you know, something that I also see about this album is sort of the lyric approach. It's kind of like it takes the lyric approach of like sort of poetry or like folk music and sort of like, yeah, weird wordplay, kind of sees a lot of heavy implementation. Uh, you know, I like it. It's quite a unique project. Really enjoy what they do. So here we go. You know, you got Tool, and then you got these other bands here too that I could also say. And then, you know, I've got this picture of a horizon because I just want to let y'all know what's on the horizon. What specifically is on the horizon is that Christmas break is coming up, and I plan to make some videos for this YouTube channel because I really enjoyed having time to put some content together on things that I like to talk about. Particularly what's on the horizon for this metal series, I kind of talked about at various points. I'm kind of into the, I'd like to talk about now is like alt metal and like new metal and industrial metal and things that are sort of right around that period of time, you know, and sort of a lot of things that kind of get thrown together into the same category. That's what I'm going to talk about, you know, soon. The next few videos will kind of be that stuff. Yeah, thank you for checking out this video. Always nice to be making these videos. Feels good. Thank you for watching. See ya.